Okay, welcome back everyone. When we last left off, we went through the introduction of the game and we met all of the people of Roland, and there was a lot of talking, but we hadn't really gotten into any gameplay yet. But in this episode, we should be getting into some fights and such. So that'll be exciting. So actually, I realized off stream that I actually did the clear save file wrong. You're supposed to load. You save your once you finish the game, you save a clear save, and then you're supposed to load up that save when you want to start a new game with your stuff. So stuff is a little different. You'll see on the bottom left, I have 197,000 Mira, and I have a lot of equipment, and I have a lot of these, which we haven't gotten into yet. So basically, what I'm gonna try to do, I also have a lot of Sepith, I think. I don't know where that shows up. I thought it showed up in Augments. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I have a lot of Sepith. So what I'm gonna try to do for this is basically I'm going to still try to keep using what I would have at that point without, you know, just going to the best item in the game and stuff like that. Essentially the only reason I did this, one, I did the Mira just to sort of save myself the agony of having to grind for Mira on camera, if I ever needed to get something, and because I still have to get the achievement for getting all the weapons in the game, I think, or all the items or something. So I want to make sure I have the money just to buy stuff that I probably wouldn't buy normally, but I'm just buying it for the sake of that. And also, I found out that... So this information quartz lets you see an enemy's status, essentially to scan them. And eventually we're going to get a monster guide, which lets us fill in information for every monster in the game. However, you do not get the information quartz until after you do the first little Bracer Guild exam that we're about to do. So, the monsters that we're about to go face during this exam, we wouldn't be able to scan. And there's no way to go back and scan them after the fact. At least not the boss that you fight, I think. So there's no way to get your monster guide completely filled until New Game Plus. So I really wanted to make sure I had this so that I could do that in this run, because I haven't done that yet. So just be aware that normally you would not have this quartz or be able to see the monsters. You have to wait till a New Game Plus to do that. So that is the only reason I brought over all my quartz. We're not going to use any of the other ones. I'm going to try to buy them as we go through. And I didn't unlock any of my slots. You can see they're all sealed. So we still have to do that. But essentially, that's the only reason I really wanted to carry over some stuff. Is for that, and just to have the Mira so I could save on grinding on screen. But as we go through, I will try to point out grind locations and places where you can do that yourself in case you want to. Okay, so I believe we have to talk to Aina as where we left off. These are very important, so make sure not to lose them. Oh, there's our Bracer notebook. Bracer notebooks serve as the official way to record the status of your current jobs. Also, anything you may hear or anything that you may find and where. These kinds of trivial things can often become clues. No matter how insignificant something may seem, always write it down. Understood. Crap, this sounds like it's going to be a pain. Oh? Please tell me it was my ears playing tricks on me, because I swear I only got one response. I'm sure there were two. Keeping an accurate account of events is an important duty for all braces. So, get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is, Estelle. Okay, I got it. Make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over by the door. You can see that there's a bulletin board standing there. First, I want you to go and check the job description posted there. When the bulletin board is approached, an exclamation mark will appear. Pressing the OK button will display the job list. By selecting the job names on the list, you can view their details. Training Retrieval. Client Sherazard, pay 500 Mira, details direct request. This training will involve searching the sewers beneath Roland and bringing back the contents of a chest. See Sherazard for details. Details of the job confirmed on the bulletin board and other important events will be automatically recorded in the Bracer Notebook. The Bracer Notebook can be easily found by clicking on the Books tab of the Items menu. It can also be accessed by configuring a Bracer Book shortcut button on the Configuration menu. Very good. It looks like you were able to see what was posted without any trouble. Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions a Bracer performs on their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which need immediate attention is also an important duty for Bracers. Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style. Sure, there are lots of rules to follow, but there's an equal level of responsibility in the jobs themselves. I think being a Bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude. I guess you're right. I'll just have to be more motivated. Is that so? That's a little typo there. Had a change of heart, have you? You betcha. Well, before all that motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task. What will we be doing this time? We'll be heading across the street to Mr. Melder's Orbital Factory and learning about how to use its services. He has graciously taken time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure to be on your best behavior. Okay. Here's where you will learn how to use an Orbital Factory services. At an Orbital Factory, you can modify your Augments and synthesize support quartz in order to use Orbital Arts. Arts have a wide range of effects, and if mastered, can be extremely helpful. The Bracer business is a pretty risky occupation, so the Guild has had a long-standing relationship with these Orbital Factories. Anyway, this is about as much as I can explain. I'll leave the technical details to the expert. So, Mr. Melders, if you wouldn't mind taking over from here.
No problem. Leave everything to me. So, what is it that you would like to know about?
Okay, Augments.
Augments are mechanical devices which exhibit an array of effects through the installation of various types of quartz. By definition, that means that lights, airship engines, and so on are also types of augments. However, the ones we will be discussing today are battle augments, which enhance the user's physical abilities and make it possible to use magic. Since each augment is adjusted to match the owner's personal aptitude, the structures for these devices also differ for each owner. Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slots and lines which connect them vary. At any rate, that's the layman's explanation. In order to install quartz, you must first have an open slot. By default, the central slot is open, but the other slots must be opened at an Orbital Factory like this. It'll take a fair amount of sepith too. EP, which is needed for magic, will also see a max increase according to the number of open slots. I recommend opening them all as soon as possible. So, what is it you would like to know about? Orbital Arts. Simply put, Orbital Arts are magic which can be discharged exclusively through the use of battle augments. In other words, a number of peculiar effects can be produced by using the orbital energy stored within these mechanical devices. Since Orbital Arts can be a mouthful, they are almost universally referred to as arts. Probably ought to have been called that from the get-go. There are several types of arts, but in order to be able to use them, their corresponding quartz must first be synthesized at an Orbital Factory. Augments are also set up so that once a particular quartz is installed into a slot, the owner will be able to use those arts. The type of arts one can use also changes depending on the elemental value and the combination of installed quartz. That's something very important. I'm going to try and get into that and hopefully explain it well, but I'm not the best at explaining things, but I'm going to try my best to try and show what that means. Basically, if you want to use water arts, all you have to do is install quartz with the water elemental value. In reality, augments are much more complex than what I have described, but I think this information should suffice for now. So, what is it? Yeah, quartz. Quartz are circuits made from sepith. Quartz have a vast number of effects and raise the owner's abilities while simultaneously making it possible for them to use arts. However, you will not be able to harness any of these effects until quartz has been installed into a slot. However, there are also fixed slots in which only a certain type of elemental quartz can be installed. This being the case, when you synthesize a new quartz, be sure to check your augment and decide where you will be installing it ahead of time. And then finally, sepith. Sepith are fragments of septium which are dropped by monsters. They are divided into 7 types: earth, brown; water, blue; fire, red; wind, green; time, black; space, gold; and mirage, silver. Sepith can be exchanged for Mira almost anywhere, but at the Orbital Factory it can be used to synthesize quartz and to open Augment slots in which to install the synthesized quartz. Alright, so we've learned everything. Looks like Mr. Melders has answered all your questions. If there's nothing else, then let's have you both try and use the services here. For that, you're going to need some sepith. With that amount, you two should be able to synthesize a few quartz. Now, I want you to begin by first making an elemental quartz that will work with each of your particular augments. In your case, Estelle, any elemental quartz is okay, but for you, Joshua, it has to be a time elemental quartz. Normally at a shop, you would be able to exchange sepith for Mira, but for this training, you will not be able to use this service. Upon approaching the counter, a talk mark will appear. Pressing the OK button will display a list of options. Select Modify or Trade to use the Orbital Factory services. Okay, sorry if there was a jump in the recording. I had to check something. So, how do what's the button? That's the button for the notebook. Okay, so I'm just gonna try to give a brief explanation of how this works, because this is something, I mean, I'm just stupid, so that's probably why. But this is something that I didn't realize until very late into my own playthrough when I first played the game. So here, if you press, for me it's the triangle button. I think if you were on PC, you would just click the little, you see in the bottom right, the hand, the bracer symbol. You would click that. And on this memo page, you can see all of the different spells you can learn throughout the game under the magic tab. And then here it shows you what each quartz will give you. So basically, when you want to learn use magic in this game, you have to stack certain sepith together to create a spell. And you can see at the start, it starts pretty simple. You know, Stonehammer, you need 1 of the earth sepith. Aquableed, you need 1 of the water sepith, you know, so on and so forth. It's pretty simple. But when you get into the more advanced types of spells, like up here you have Titanic Roar, that costs 8 earth and 4 space, I think is yellow? Space sepith? So, you have to start combining different types of sepith to get certain spells, even for that one particular element. So coming in here to see if you want, especially if you want very specific types of spells, is very useful for learning things. And on top of that, another thing to take into account, so you'll see, let's look at Estelle's Augments here. You'll see here 3 of these are like a brownish color highlighted, and then these 2 are blue. So essentially this top one is the middle, you'll see on the right there, it's the middle slot. So these 3 are one section of this. And then these 2 are a separate section. So when you're combining magic, let's say for a spell you need 4 earth, 3 space, and 1, I don't know, water. I'm just trying to make something up. You would need to have, let's say, the earth one here, the space, one with space, and 1 with water. Sometimes you'll get quartz that have multiple in them, but for now, let's just assume you would need 3. Or you could do the earth here, and the space here, and the water here. But you couldn't, like, go between the 2. So you couldn't have earth here,
space here and then water down here because they wouldn't connect. So you can only make spells within this quadrant of slots or this quadrant here. Same goes with Joshua, but he has more slots in a single thing, and then he just has this single one by itself. So you would presumably be able to make a bigger spell that requires more different types of elements than you would with Estelle, theoretically. So that's something to keep in mind when you are trying to create certain types of spells. This is something I didn't realize for a very long time, and I think it's very useful to understand that early on so that you know how your magic is working and how to get stronger spells. Okay, now that I've described all that, oh, I just realized because I already had quartz, she said that she thinks I made some. Okay, well anyway, you would have to go over to that guy and synthesize the quartz for Estelle and Joshua. But I already have a bunch as I've showed off, so I skipped that part by accident. I just wanted to check what she wanted me to do. Oops. Next, I want you to increase the arts you can use. Now install a quartz into your augments so that you can use both recovery and attack arts. Quartz can be installed in the augment screen. The augment screen can be utilized by selecting the augment tab in the main menu. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what you would do. So you would create whatever you want. Personally, how I am going to build them is I would give Estelle a defense quartz and I would give Joshua an attack quartz. Or I guess an action quartz because we only have the time slot. So I'd give him an action and then I would give him attack. But yeah, I would give Estelle a defense quartz off the bat and a health quartz, an HP up. And then I give Joshua action and attack. That's how I would do it. Okay, so she wants us to be able to heal and attack. So I'm going to make these just so we know. Oh, also for this, she gave us, just so that it's clear, she gave us... I have my stats written down. That doesn't make sense. So it looks like she gave us 100, or not 100, maybe 50 of each subject? 20? I don't know. She gave us enough to make one of these. Yeah, it must be 20 because these all cost 20. I'm stupid. Okay, so let's just say she wants us to have healing, so we need to make an HP. And she said healing and attack, but I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm just gonna make an action quartz. I don't know what she wants. So healing, we would have to put an HP 1, and then we can only give Joshua time magic, so we would give him an action 1 because that's all we know. Looks like you've got both recovery and attack arts. If you balance your arts out between each other like you've done here, it should make dealing with monsters much easier. Additionally, your bracer notebooks contain information about which quartz allow you to use which arts. If you'd like to use more powerful arts, check out the arts and quartz charts in your bracer notebooks and find something that works for you. Alright, our training here is almost finished. Last of all, I'm going to have one of you open a new slot in your augments. The more slots you have available to you, the broader range of choices you'll have. Since EP, which is consumed by using arts, can have its max value increased by opening up slots, it would be a good idea to open them all early on. Now I want you to use this sepith and open a slot on each of your augments. Go ahead and decide which slots are going to open. Okay. Let's see how many we got this time. Now I think we might have gotten more. I think we should. I feel like she should have given us enough to unlock one on each. But I don't know. So I'm only gonna do one on Estelle for now, just because I don't want to make it. Oh my god, I'm forgetting all the buttons. Unfair. And for now, I'm gonna give Estelle information quartz because I need that. I see you've managed to open one of your augment slots, Estelle. Since your central slot is not limited to a particular elemental, you are free to install any type of quartz you like. This concludes your training here at the Orbital Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been waiting for, the Qualification Test. Pardon? Did you just say test? You can't honestly tell me that you forgot about the test again, can you? Didn't I remind you just this morning? Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talk along those lines at the breakfast table. Sometimes I fear for the future of the Bracer Guild and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about that now. Let's head over to the testing area. You mean like now? I don't know if I'm ready for... How about a little less yapping and a little more walking? She got dragged. Joshua, help me! Mr. Melders, Freddy, thank you for all your help.
Don't mention it, and good luck with that test of yours.
We'll be rooting for you.
I'm going to remember that you left me high and dry like this, Joshua.
All your training has finally come down to this. Your qualification test will begin here. I expect to see you both use what you've learned up to this point. Understood. What's wrong, Estelle? Shara? What now? I was kind of wondering, but is there not going to be a paper test or something? Did Cassius drop you on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board not that long ago, right? Yeah, and? And I even made you jot down what you read in your Bracer notebooks, unless you forgot that too. I'm pretty sure the job listing mentions searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ringing any bells yet? What a relief! Oh, divine Idios, I give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us such wonderful gifts as sewers. So what you're really saying is that you thought it was a paper test? No wonder you were acting all crazy back at the Orbital Factory. I can already feel the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in a classroom are starting to feel like grand memories indeed. I'm really starting to wonder if we'll even be able to graduate at all. What's wrong with you? Why do you have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things? Alright, that's enough jabbering, you two. This is supposed to be a test, so how about you both and try to look at least a little anxious? Just so you know, though, if you do happen to flunk the test, you don't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for both of you. Hee hee, we'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do and let us loose. Well, if you're so confident, then how about proving that you're not just blowing hot air with the results of your test? Anyway, as you both saw on the bulletin board, this test will be a search conducted in Roland's sewers. Your objective is to retrieve contents of a chest which has been placed somewhere within that area. The layout of the sewers is extremely simple, so you don't need to worry about getting lost either. However, there are real, living, breathing monsters down there, so if you get careless and let your guard down, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. Ooh, some tear bombs and the monster guide. What's this book for? It's called a monster guide, and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents you meet. Whenever you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in there. Sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. You've really got a good head on your shoulders, Joshua. That's some pretty useful advice. Thanks for the tip, Shara. We'll put it to good use. Alrighty then, let's get pumped and knock out this test. Let's. Don't forget though, this is an exam. We should make sure to treat it as such. Okay. Gonna do another save. So, what is the button for monster book? There we go. There we go. I was like, where am I? So I think it's So we're gonna fight these down here, but I think the thing, yeah, I never got its scan of any of its strength or anything. And then I think the boss down here might be different. I'm not sure though. There appears to be a recovery point set up over there. Let's use it if our HP and EP become low before engaging in any further battles. Orphan charging stations are recovery points set up in dangerous areas. As a recovery point is approached, an exclamation mark will appear and 2 choices will be displayed by pressing the OK button. By selecting the rest option, all HP and EP will be restored. Sounds like a plan to me! Yeah, so we would use this to recover stuff, which I guess we have more EP now, so... because we unlocked one of Estelle's slots. Monsters at 12 o'clock. Be careful not to let them take advantage of your blind side. Got it. Monsters cannot be seen from far away. They will become visible as you approach them. The conditions at the start of a battle will change depending on how a monster is engaged. Engaging an enemy from behind is advantageous, while being attacked by an enemy from behind is disadvantageous. Yeah, so normally I don't think I would be able to see like its HP, what it's weak to, etc. So yeah, what you're seeing in the top right is the elemental efficacy is how much damage, like how weak it is to an element. So right now it's neutral to everything. So it takes the same amount of damage no matter what element's used on it. It gives us 5 XP. It drops 2 Earth Sepith, 1 Fire, and 1 Space. And it has the potential to drop a juicy bone for an item. And this is a dirty rat, a small nocturnal monster. It inhabits areas near raw sewage. But we can't use arts and stuff yet, so right now we're just doing a good old smackdown. We're gonna move closer because we can't hit it from back there. They're taking it really easy on our first battle. They're just letting us wail on these things without them attacking. I still think Estelle might not. Yeah, she still can't reach it. She does have a bit longer range than Joshua, I believe, but she doesn't have as much movement as Joshua.
That's that then. Let's move out.
So we got 10 XP and some Sepith and 2 juicy bones. Here comes some more. Depending on the enemy, some physical attacks may be ineffective. Let's use arts, not physical attacks. Okay. Arts are effective on enemies that are good at avoiding physical attacks. Arts also make long-range attacks possible, but they require time to be cast. EP is consumed when arts are used. EP can be recovered by resting at inns, hotels, or by using charge stations and other items like an EP charge. Yeah, so we can see here, it only has 8 HP, but it says it is almost impossible to hit them with a weapon. So that's why we want to use arts, because it has a very high evasive stat. So we're going to use Aqua Bleed. We also have Tear, but that's a healing spell, so that won't that won't help us with fighting these. And Joshua, he has Clock Up, which raises the speed of a party member, but we're going to use Soul Blur. Got some crisp onions. Another dirty rat. Estelle, let's try using crafts this time around. Since crafts have other effects besides just dealing out damage, they're worth a shot. Roger that. Crafts have range limits but can be utilized instantly. CP is gained by dealing out or receiving damage during battle. Okay, so crafts, we have morale, which will shout to encourage allies, strength plus 20.
Come on.
So Estelle can give us a strength boost. And Joshua has dual strike, which unleashes a double slash with dual blades, 2-hit combo. Very strong early on. Oh, they're finally starting to hit us. But yeah, you can see at the bottom, our below health and EP, we have CP, which is where we can charge it to get it back.
Piece of cake.
I want to make sure I did equip the boots again, right? Okay. Yeah, I rebought the leather boots and equipped them since I had to redo the intro stuff. There we have a reviving bomb. And now a little fun thing in these games are after you open a treasure chest, you can examine it again. The chest is empty because of you. Nice work, hero. And they'll have little phrases like this. And there actually is an achievement associated with getting every chest phrase in the game. So you really have to make sure you keep up on rechecking the chests if you want to get that achievement. Oh, what a surprise. Another creepy thing. I wish there were an easier way of taking care of them. One blow using an S-craft or S-break should do the trick for just about any enemy. The catch is, our CP has to be at least 100 to pull one off. To pull off one of those moves. These devastating attacks can only be unleashed when the CP gauge is above 100. S-breaks are actions which allow S-crafts to be immediately unleashed while ignoring the battle order. S-crafts which are unleashed as S-breaks can be changed by going to Tactics and then set S-break within the main menu. So you can see here, if I press left and right on the D-pad, that little red orb lit up, and now I can use Estelle's S-break.
Here I come.
And now I'm gonna use Joshua's. So if you have 100 or more CP, you can use their S-breaks whenever in battle you want. You can interrupt an enemy's turn to essentially make it your turn. But it will use all your CP, so something to keep in mind.
Alright, we're good to go.
Oh, I guess the boss is just a dirty rat. So I guess it was just a dirty rat and the moth that I never got to skin. So that's the treasure chest we're after, huh? If we made it this far, the rest of is going to be a piece of cake. I don't know why I struggled so much reading that. Seems like we've got a little breathing room at least. Let's pay close attention to our battle order this time. There should be a number of ways to get more mileage out of our actions. During battle, there are several bonuses which can be allotted to turns. Turn bonuses have the same effect regardless of whether they are allotted to an ally or a foe. Using S-breaks to ignore the battle order makes it easy to jump in and strip an enemy of their own turn bonus. Okay, yeah, so the yellow heart is HP up. The red gem coming up is Sepith up, which I will try to go into more detail later about. Essentially, it makes them drop more Sepith, but there's a way to, like, utilize that more effectively to get more out of it. I like how that guy back there is just... He's just vibing. He's having a good time. He does not want to get involved in any of this. I'm gonna start moving Estelle that way. It's sad that Joshua can basically move the equivalent of 2 moves for Estelle. And there we go. Easy enough.
All right, we're good to go.
That's weird. There's a couple of boxes inside that treasure chest. The fact that there's not just 1, but 2 is kind of interesting too. Wonder what's inside. Remember, Estelle, our mission is to search and retrieve only. I'm pretty sure looking inside those boxes doesn't fall under our mission objective. You're no fun at all, Joshua. This has nothing to do with our mission. It's what I like to call good, honest curiosity. You know, we're the only ones down here. We can get away with a teensy-weensy peek, right? If you feel like flunking today's test, then by all means, be my guest. Did you just say the F word? Yep. Opening one of these boxes could result in an automatic fail for the both of us. If this were a real job, the content of those boxes would belong to a client. As long as they were nothing illegal, we would have no right to open them. I know you're right, Joshua, but I just can't help myself. If you absolutely have to know what's inside, why not ask Miss Sheriff when we get back? But for now, we need to focus on getting out of here. Alright, alright. And remember, check the chest. By looking inside the chest again, you flunk. Just kidding. Alright, and that was our exam. Think we did pretty good. Let's heal up. Oh. Good work, you two. As a rule of training, I'm going to need to confirm the items in your possession. Yep, they're the real deal, all right. I don't see any evidence of tampering either. That was a close one. I figured she would try and set us up like that. Congratulations to the both of you. You have successfully passed your qualification test. You didn't really think something that simple would be a problem for us, did you? So, Shara, what's in those boxes you had us get? That's for me to know and you to find out, after your training is finished. That's enough chit-chat for now, so let's get back to work. You two still have some things left to do. Seriously? But didn't you just say that we passed the test? You still have to learn about how to report the results of your work. I'm aware that you're both tired, but this is no time to shirk your duties. Let's get back to the guild. When is this day going to be over? Oh well, no sense in giving up when the finish line is in sight. Agreed. It seems like we're within reaching distance of our goal. Your final training is how to report to the guild. Whenever you finish a job, it is your duty to report the results of your work to the guild. Reporting how you resolved the situation and the steps you took to get there are all part of your job as a bracer. You can report your results to the front desk in each guild branch, and as you already know by now, Ina is in charge here at Roland Branch. In addition, this is where you will be paid for your work. I look forward to seeing great things from the both of you. Now that we're here, why don't you both go ahead and report the results of today's training? Upon approaching the counter, a talk mark will appear. Pressing OK button will display a list of options. Select report. Alrighty. We got a payment, 1 BP, we completed 1 job, 500 Mira, and our current rank is Junior Bracer 9th class. We're newbies. Good job, you two. It seems like you were able to complete your objective without running into any major problems. Another thing to take note of is that depending on how you handle a job, you may see an increase or decrease in the amount of pay you receive. When you report the results of your work to the guild, pay in the form of Mira isn't the only thing you will receive. You will also accumulate points, which are known as BP, Bracer Points. BP are an indication of your achievements as a Bracer. When these points exceed a certain value, you will advance in rank as Bracer and be awarded with a piece of special equipment by the guild. The ranks of a Junior Bracer start at 9 and go all the way up to 1. Please set your sights on making first rank and work hard. The amount of Mira and BP you receive will also be recorded in your Bracer notebooks, so please have a look sometime later on. All that's left to do now is finalize your training. Let's head back upstairs, shall we? I'll talk to you later, Ina, and sorry about putting more work on your plate today than usual. Don't worry about it. Training new bracers is important for the future of the guild. I fully intend to work these two to the bone in any case. To the bone? And knowing Shara, it'll involve the whip. Oh boy. Let me say it again. Good work, you two. You have now officially completed the entire training course. From now on, you will be learning from your own real-world experience. Well then. Sherazard holds out 2 small boxes. Aren't those boxes the ones... In answer to your question, yes, these are the boxes you retrieved during today's test. You seem awfully curious to find out what's inside, Estelle. Are you saying that it's okay if we open them? That's right. Why don't the both of you have a look and see what's inside? Sweet! Alright, let's have a look. Estelle and Joshua open the boxes. Receive Junior Bracer Emblem. This crest is... So does that mean that we're... Ahem. Estelle Bright, Joshua Bright. Beginning this day at 1500 hours, you are both hereby appointed as Junior Bracers within the Bracer Guild. From here on, you will work as members of the Bracer Guild to support the livelihood of those around you, defend peace, and uphold justice. Congratulations, you two, and welcome into the fold. Did you hear that, Joshua? We've become members of the Bracer Guild. So I'm a Bracer now, huh? I think the realization is only now just beginning to sink in. Come on, Joshua. You should be jumping for joy or running around and screaming at the top of your lungs like this. Look at us now, world! We did it! I was happy until you made my eardrums bleed. I hate to interrupt the celebrations, Estelle, but I need to take off now. I have some backed up work that needs my immediate attention. We understand. You have been spending a lot of extra hours working with us during this busy time for the guild. Before you head out, Shara, I just wanted to say thanks. Likewise, I appreciate all the trouble you've gone through for us, Shara. Don't mention it. Training new recruits is one of the Bracer's many duties. Believe it or not, I was once in your shoes a long time ago when your father, Cassius, trained me. So that's why you have so much respect for Dad, huh? There's actually much more to it than that, but I'll save that conversation for another day. As for the both of you, work hard to become full-fledged Bracers early on so you can help guide those new recruits who come after yourselves. And in time, I hope to see you both become respectable Bracers like your father. Anyway, I'll leave you with that thought. I just don't get it. Get what? This is Sherazard, aka the Silver Streak, one of the most skilled young Bracers we're talking about. So why is it that she holds Dad in such high esteem? He just seems like nothing more than a no-good middle-aged man who is always out doing who knows what instead of being a father. A no-good middle-aged man, huh? From your viewpoint, it doesn't come as a surprise that you would see him in that fashion. Huh? Never mind. Let's hurry and head home. We should let Dad know that we qualified as Junior Bracers. Right. They're saving. Congratulations, you two are now official members of the Bracer Guild. From now on, I'm going to be passing jobs out to you like candy. Bring it on, is all I have to say. I look forward to working with the guild. Hi there, Estelle and Joshua. Oh, hi, Ridge. Looks like your training is over, isn't it? I'm humbled to know that you two are the youngest ever to pass the Bracer exam. I look forward to working with you in the same capacity. Ourselves as well. I have to get back to work now, but if there's something you don't understand, give me a holler. Yeah, I don't think we can check the board yet. Hurry up and come on! Wait for me, Luke! Huh? Oh, it's you two. Oh, great, it's Estelle. Hi there, Joshua. Okay, you little twerp. What's with the "oh great, it's Estelle" remark? And what's the big hurry? How about you telling us where you're headed? You're not thinking about wandering out of town alone, are you? The roads are full of monsters, I hope you know. You're such a pest, Estelle. Don't you know there's no room for girls to be sticking their big fat noses into boys' business? Quit acting like you're a bracer, you wannabe. Tisk tisk, how wrong you are, Luke. How incredibly wrong. You're more wrong than a fool who thinks there's better tasting milk in Liberl than the milk that comes from the Purzel farm. What? No way. You're full of it, Estelle. In fact, as of just a few minutes ago, we qualified to become real bracers. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Real bracers. More like bracers in training, really. Don't think you should be getting on your high horse just yet, Estelle. Now a high pony, on the other hand. Quit being a killjoy. Wow, you two are great. I'm so happy for the both of you. Oh, Pat, you're such a good little boy. Unlike that smart aleck and cynical brat you call a friend. This isn't fair. I was supposed to become a bracer first. I can't accept that Joshua became a bracer before me, but getting passed by the likes of Estelle. What's the likes of Estelle supposed to mean? Just so you know, you can't even be a bracer until you're 16 years old, get it? Only mature people allowed. And that means no little kids who are still going to Sunday school. I don't know how I should put this, Estelle, but Sunday school is dying to have you back. Damn. You better watch out, Estelle. I'm gonna go train at my secret base, and before you know it, I'm gonna be a bracer too. Come on, Pat, let's go. Alright, I'm coming. See you later, Estelle. Bye, Joshua. That boy, Luke. He's always trying to pick a fight with me. I wonder if he just plain hates me or something. Rather, I think it's the exact opposite. What do you mean by that? Don't worry about it. It's just a boy thing. At any rate, what do you think Luke meant when he said secret base? I don't know why, but somehow it makes me a bit curious. I know exactly what you mean. A secret base sounds really intriguing. The pure heart of a young child can be so inspiring at times. That's not really what I meant by curious. Alright, and now since we've done the bracer exam, people around town have some different dialogues, so let's check that out. Seems like it's going to take a bit longer for me to get the lumber together for this order. I must work hard to get my father-in-law to acknowledge me, for my wife's sake. This way? Oh? Armand, are you talking to the lady you were looking at? I'm so distressed. He's my type, and I'd like to accept his proposal. But this place is not my ideal situation. Is the place or whatever really that important? Of course it is. This could be the memory of a lifetime. It may be the place that comes to my mind when I'm an old grandma and lying on my deathbed. I just can't accept an alleyway like this as being that place. I guess this type of thing can only be understood by those involved. I've confessed to her several times since this morning, but I can't get her to accept my love. It doesn't seem like she hates me or anything. What am I doing wrong? Oh, Armand. You foolish fool. Okay. How's our little reporter doing? Hey, Estelle and Joshua, is it true that you really became bracers? You're always one of the first to hear everything, aren't you, Claire? This is just what I expected. I saw the potential in you both way back. Yep. You're going to get out there and earn a lot of success, right? I like Sherazad's adult charm, but I'm partial to both you and Joshua. Huh? I'll take that as a compliment. It's such a warm day today, isn't it? It looks like we'll be able to take a nice afternoon nap. Nya. Oh, little kitty. I didn't even see the kitty. Okay. Sorry, trying to look at this thing. I think we're essentially just talking to everyone again, but I was just making sure. Good afternoon. Hey there, Estelle and Joshua. So how'd your training go? That emblem of yours on your chest means I shouldn't have expected anything less from Cassius's kids. But we're still bracers in training. I see, but, well, I knew you were going to have to give up your part-time job here sooner or later. Yes, I'm really sorry about that. Don't sweat it. I knew it'd happen eventually when I hired you on. It's a shame, though. There's hardly anyone out here with a good eye as weapons for you. I read that wrong. A good eye for weapons as you is what I meant to say. But that's the path you've chosen, so get out there and show us what you're made of. I just want to make sure I own... Okay. For the sake of the filling of the achievement. Hello there, Joshua and Estelle. Stella, listen to this. I finally became a bracer. My goodness, is that true? And Joshua too? Yes, ma'am. That's right. Congratulations to the both of you. You did wonderfully. Tee. But one thing, Estelle. You shouldn't be proud just because you became a bracer. This is just a starting point. I understand that. The two of you will experience a lot of new things as bracers. And I hope that I can be proud of the fact that this is the path you chose in the coming years. But enough about my feelings. Please work hard and good luck. Thanks, Stella. Oh, that's not the door. Hey, why are you hissing? Why are you so grumpy? Sorry, my cat was hissing at the kitten. Hey, you're doing good work so far. Ah, what's that emblem on your chest? Congratulations, you two. So you finally become bracers, huh? Teehee, thanks. Estelle, you are way too proud of yourself. Why do you always have to ruin the moment, Joshua? I should be this happy because I earned it. You should at least let me bask in the glory for a minute. Sometimes you can just be so... But Estelle, now that you've become a bracer, you're going to have to get over your little, problem with orbital arts. Man, you two, why do you have to go and spoil my day by saying things like that? If you don't have any other business needs, don't forget to stop by. I mean, if you have any other business needs. Oh my god, I need to learn how to read with my eyes.
The augments we see today are built using the structure of a clock. Therefore, even old technicians such as myself can tinker with some of their parts. When it comes to these quartz circuits, however, I'm a bit out of my league. I don't know who invented these things, but they're extremely complicated little machines.
It's almost time for my husband to come home from work. I'd better get to work on preparing dinner. I've already started dinner for the night. I'm making plenty, so hopefully my husband will be coming home today. Staying overnight in the mine and working through the night is pretty common for him. I love my daddy so much. He's so strong and he's always nice to me. Talk to people in the bargain. It seems like somehow I'll be able to get the lumber I wanted. Simon, our Septium purchases are going to go through fine, right? Since I spared no effort in coming all the way to Roland, failure is not an option. Let's see. I have made contact with some of the people at Malga Mine, and we're working out a few business details at the moment. But please just wait a little longer. Really? You're completely finished with your training? Yay! We finally finished, Alyssa! I am officially a real bracer. Well, congratulations, Estelle. You've always wanted to be a bracer ever since you were a kid, haven't you, Estelle? But don't bracers have a lot of dangerous jobs? Yeah, something like that. Joshua, Estelle, don't overdo it, and watch out for each other. Estelle has this tendency to get in over her head. That's a very good observation, Alyssa. The only problem is that Estelle doesn't realize this herself. I'm standing right here, you guys. Joshua and I just care about you, Estelle, that's all. Anyway, don't get too full of yourself and end up getting hurt, okay? Okay. This guy's still munching it up. I better get back to the mine before the boss figures out I ditched work. Oh, were you here before, old man?
My son-in-law is still half a man when it comes to this business. This isn't an easy job, and it takes a good 2 to 3 years to become a real woodsman.
Okay, I guess he's had a bit much to drink. Looks like that female merchant over there came from Bose. Not only does she seem smart, but she's extremely attractive as well. Then again, she'd probably never give me the time of day. Her accent is a little different though. Oh, I guess she had an accent. Sorry I didn't give you an accent, lady. In my opinion, there are two kinds of enjoyment that come from food. Put bluntly, they are eating and cooking. But I think my passion for cooking outweighs the other. Of course, I enjoy eating delicious food as well. Bro, same. Love me some delicious food. Well, Estelle, I haven't seen you around here for a while. It's been some time since you graduated from Sunday school, right? Did you say hi to Alyssa? She started helping around here not too long ago. Please visit her if you have some time. She's been wanting to see you. I guess I just won't ever talk back to you. Don't even give me a second to speak back. Looks like the only person who changes is in here. Thanks to the airlines in recent days, even Roland has been able to get a good selection of books. And thanks to that, I find myself compelled to buy a new one each time I head to the store. But I get yelled at by my wife for getting so many, so maybe I should cut back a bit. I've only got the first chapter of this novel, so if you want, I'll give it to you. Oh, there we go. We got us a book. So that's where you get Carnelia, Chapter 1. There is an achievement, I believe, for getting all the books. If not an achievement, I think getting them nets you an item at the end of the game or something. But books are important, and a lot of them have very easily missable windows, so... talk to Paddington again. A beautiful sound as always. I love the toll of this tower bell. This bell does more than tell the time. It's also marking Roland's history. Going to the hotel. There should be some guests staying here now. Whew, I finally arrived in Roland. I think the first thing I'm going to do is have a look around. We've got an unusual guest staying here at the moment. She appears to be a student from the Genus Royal Academy. I've heard she's come here to study about Roland. Ooh, fancy. Back to the church.
Estelle, you seem to be rather cheerful today. Did something wonderful happen in your life?
Hee hee hee. Yes, I guess you could say that.
Joyous occasions are indeed a wonderful thing. But it is times when things go well that we should gird up our loins for the trials that lie ahead. O goddess Idios of the firmament, please guide these unseasoned youths.
I'm a newly assigned sister to this chapel. I was recently transferred from the royal city to Roland. This place is surrounded by greenery, and everyone in town is so kind. I think I'm going to enjoy it here. Father Divine is a bit strict, but he is someone I can respect a lot. Go to the landing port. Go visit our womanizer at the ticket booth. Luscious chocolate skin, captivating ruby eyes. Scheherazad's quite the exotic beauty, wouldn't you say? She's got that fascinating charm that people in the world don't have. Alan's off in his little world again. Haha. I've actually gone drinking with Scheherazade before. But the strange thing is, I have absolutely no memory of that time. Hahaha, maybe I should try and ask her out again? Bro, you probably got drunk under the table. I am proud of the work I do here. That's because I've always wanted to work on orbital engines ever since I can remember. Good for you, buddy. Get your dream job. There are 2 airliners which travel to the 5 major cities, an eastward circling one and a westward circling one. The westward circling airliner travels from Grand Cell to Roland, Bose, Rouen, and Zeiss in that order. The eastward circling airliner travels in the opposite direction, from Grand Cell to Zeiss, Rouen, Bose, and Roland in that order. And now we go back to the mayor's residence. And then we can go pick up our newspaper that we had to bring back to Estelle's father. The missus sometimes helps me with my jobs around the house. On top of that, she treats me like I'm part of the family. She even took me out to eat the other day. I couldn't be happier. Well, that's sweet. Lita takes care of all the housework, but I feel a little awkward about it and often end up doing some of it myself. I'm sure it's because I used to do it all myself before coming to live at this house. It appears like I'm taking Lita's job away, so I wonder if I'm causing her any trouble. She seems happy about it. Compared to other cities, Roland is certainly rural. I cannot say that with that voice. Rural. With no distinct features. However, I love this city. There's just something warm and inviting about Roland. I want to build a city that gives importance to the atmosphere. Rural? It sounds awful. I cannot say it. Just sounds like I'm like a dog. Okay, let's go get the newspaper. Let's go see his mother first. I'm so glad that Renun's store has finally got on track. It seems as though it has become much easier to get products since he started having them brought in by airliner. Ever since the first Augments were invented, this world has become a much easier place to live in. Hey there, Estelle and Joshua. How can I help you? Did you manage to become bracers? You bet we did. Maybe I should have you start calling me Hyper Bracer Estelle from now on. By the way, Mr. Renan, did the liberal news come in? Yeah, came in a little afternoon. Don't brush me off like that, you two. Oh, whatever. I'll take one copy then. That comes to 100 Mira, please. I know my dad always buys a copy of this magazine, but does it really sell that well? It sure does. The Liberal News has an excellent reporter and camerawoman who has done a great job reporting the latest and most reliable news. They're even supposed to have a running story related to Queen Alicia's birthday celebration. One more thing before you go. This gift is my way of saying congratulations. It's a free sample item I received with my shipment of goods, but don't hold the free part against me. Ooh, a recipe book. What's this supposed to be for? There's a ton of blank pages. It's a recipe book, isn't it? You got it. When you get hurt fighting, if you just limit yourself to healing bombs all the time, it's going to cut pretty deep into your wallets. This is where a recipe book comes into play. If you eat food to recover your strength instead, it's basically free. Assuming you have all the ingredients anyway, so if you eat something new, write down what's in it, and you'll have lots of recipes in no time. So how about we try this out? Go ahead and eat this cookie, Estelle. Well, I have made it a personal rule never to turn down sweets. We learned the maple cookie recipe. Basically, all you have to do is eat the food to learn the recipe. It's as simple as that. As you're traveling about, you should eat whatever food you come across that you haven't had the opportunity to try before. Well, that sounds pretty convenient. It's not that I don't like cooking and all, it's just that I never seem to get any better. I'd sure love to be able to increase my repertoire and really shock my dad's taste buds for once in my life. That's the spirit. And in passing, if you're in need of any ingredients, I'd be delighted to service your cooking needs. You really know how to solicit your customers, Mr. Renan. Thank you for the recipe book. We'll put it to good use. Eating the recommended dish at restaurants or using to-go meals adds the recipe to the recipe book. By selecting the recipe book, all learned recipes will be displayed. As long as the necessary ingredients are available, the food can be made. There are two types of food: sit-down meals, which must be eaten on the spot, and to-go meals, which can be carried as items. Sit-down meals cannot be carried as items. Ingredients used for cooking can be bought at a store or acquired from monsters. So, we got our recipe book, which I don't know what button it is. There it is. As you can see, my recipe book is very full other than these three that I'm missing. I think that's the only three I'm missing. I don't even know which ones they are, but I was missing three. So, yeah, all of these carried over. Again, I'm gonna try to stick... I mean, it's gonna be expensive anyway to make the more expensive stuff, and I have no reason to. But I'll try to stick to stuff that I would only have unlocked at this point. This is just so I know what recipes I missed, essentially. Okay, so after we get the newspaper, we have some people we can talk to. I think I can talk to Renan again, actually. By the way, Mr. Renan, how did you know that today was our last day of training? Haha, in a certain sense, both you and Joshua are like celebrities here in Roland. I tend to hear a lot from customers coming through here. I shouldn't have expected anything less from Roland. The grapevine around here is seriously something to be reckoned with. No kidding. The women here especially love to gossip. Okay. We can also talk to some people in the guild now that we've gotten the book. You can see Ridge is gone now. Congratulations, you two are now official members of the Bracer Guild. From now on, I'm going to be passing jobs out to you like candy. Bring it on, is all I have to say. I look forward to working with the guild. I don't know if we already said that, but sorry if we did. Uni. Who? This guide says at the Bracer Guild, Ina's dialogue is different. Ridge is gone. And then it says Uni. Who's Uni? I don't see anyone here. Her name's not Uni, it's Fremont. What? Who is Uni? You're Claire. I don't know. Is Uni the girl that was back here before? I don't know, but they're not at the Bracer Guild, so I don't know what this guide is talking about. Uni should be back any time now, but that's odd of her not to be home by now. Estelle, Joshua, if you see my Uni, could you tell her to come home? She's never broken curfew before, but I'm worried because she's still just a little girl. Oh, maybe I needed to talk to him first? No. Hello? Is there a Uni in here that I can't see? Oh. Oh. I was like, is the board gonna tell me? Is she up here? Ugh, I thought I got stuck. I was scared. Strange. Okay, so I looked around. I could not find Uni, so maybe this guide is like worded weird and she's not actually there yet. She'll be there later. I don't know, or I'm missing something, but I'm just gonna move on and just talk to the two people in here that I didn't talk to. My son Pat has been gone since this morning. I hope he's not getting into any trouble with Luke. I'm worried about what he's up to.
Just when I thought Luke had come home, he took off out the door again. I told the boy that dinner was almost ready, too. That boy is always running around like his pants are on fire. He just can't sit still for 2 minutes.
Okay. Now I think that is everyone. So let's try to head on out of town now. Estelle, Joshua, am I glad I found you two? Oh, hi, Ina. Is something wrong? You seem to be in quite a hurry. We've got a bit of a problem. Is your father at home today? Yes, he is. He said something about having to sort out a bunch of documents. But what's going on? You know Luke and Pat, right? Sure we do. In fact, we saw them not that long ago. What's wrong? Are they in some sort of trouble? I don't know how to say this, but I just heard from Uni that Luke and Pat ran off to the tower that lies on the northern outskirts of Roland. You mean the Tower of Ismelas? Isn't that place supposed to be a breeding ground for monsters? That's what they say. Unfortunately, at the moment, Sherazard is out on other bracer business, so I want to ask your father to bring the boys home safely. What are you talking about? There's no time for that. Joshua and I will go after them and bring them back. I don't know if that's such a good idea. The two of you only just qualified to be junior bracers today. With all due respect, I believe that Estelle's judgment is correct in this situation. If the two of us hurry, we may even be able to catch up with the boys before they reach the tower. I understand. I will take responsibility for whatever happens. As an emergency request from the Bracer Guild, I ask that you lose no time in bringing about the safe return of these children. Roger that. Understood. The Ismelas Tower can be reached by taking the western path at the junction along Malga Trail. You can get onto the Malga Trail through Roland's northwest gate. I'll be on standby at the guild, so if you run into any trouble, you know where to find me. This is our first real job. Come on, Joshua. We don't have any time to lose. I'm right behind you. Maybe now I can see Uni? Okay. I wonder if Luke and Pat are alright. I tried my best to stop them. Okay, yeah, the way that the guide worded it was just said after you get the newspaper. It didn't say after you activate that scene, so it was a little confusing. Okay, so he still says the same things, but Uni specifically wasn't there until that scene. Okay, I got it. Alright, so it seems like we have a bit of a crisis on our hands. The children have gone missing, and now we have to stop them. We have to go get them because, yeah, there might not be enough time for anyone else to help out. But we are going to do that next time because I have already been going for maybe over an hour. We'll see once the video is cut down. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.